Need a laptop that's built to perform and designed to last all day? Select Windows 11 PCs starting at $499.99 are now at Best Buy. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino Ciao. A gift from Italy to your home. San Pellegrino Ciao is a flavored sparkling water made with real fruit juice, finished with a pinch of Sicilian salt for a perfectly balanced taste. So which flavor will you choose? Peach, lime, blood orange, cherry, or maybe the all-new limoncello? Crafted in Italy with 0 grams of added sugar. San Pellegrino Ciao. Buy it now.
From Wall Street to the White House, this is the Larry Kudlow Show.
All right, welcome back. We're going to do some money and politics with Liz Peek, Fox News contributor, and Steve Moore, Unleash Prosperity Hotline, and Steve's WABC radio show, More Money, which pops up right after this show on most of these same radio stations. Thanks to both of you. We've talked about it a lot in different perspectives, but still Iran is a big issue, and Robert O'Brien said there's too much hand-wringing. So did Rick Scott, actually. That's sort of my view, way too much hand-wringing. Energy prices are coming down anyway, but plus or minus for the midterms, Liz Peek, what do you think? It's a hard question, but what's your instinct?
This sounds terrible to say, but I think Americans are much more concerned about the price of gasoline and what they read about inflation than they are about the plight of the Iranian people. That's a harsh reality, but I think it's true. I don't think that President Trump has accomplished what he set out to accomplish in Iran. I agree that there's too much hand-wringing. It isn't a great-looking deal at this moment. I think part of the problem, Larry, is that there's infighting taking place in Iran. The IRGC says they're closing the strait. The government says no, they're not. So that's their problem. But I would say that getting oil prices down, better inflation numbers, that's good for the midterms.
I agree. I agree. I agree with he may not look. He realistically, you can't get regime change. He tried. He bombed the hell out of him. I mean, Steve Moore. You know what? If they don't, the crux of this deal is the nukes, the nuclear dust and the nuclear weapons, which at the moment have been totally decimated. Are incapable of doing anything. Now, if they don't make progress in the next 60 days or 90 days or 120 days, they're not going to get any money. You might even have to bomb him after the midterms, but he's not going to give them any money. I mean, he's come a long way on Iran. Look, it's not the Iran that it was 6 months or 12 months ago, actually, if you include the midnight blue bombing and so forth. So I think gasoline prices back down, Iran incapacitated, no boots on the ground, very, very low casualties. I think it's a plus.
So I agree with that. And, every once in a while I do my penance and I go on Abby Phillips' show on CNN, and I did it this week. And the day after that, deal was announced, and, it was 4 against 1 as usual. And, what did Trump accomplish? What did he do here? Nothing. We've accomplished nothing. And I said, well, wait a minute. What are you talking about? You're the people of the last 50 years have been talking about, nuclear war and preventing nuclear war. And that's exactly what Trump has done. It looks like he has disabled the nuclear. Look, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but the fact that, and you've made this point many times, Larry, and Arthur makes it a lot too, Laffer, that what is the discounted present value to the world of taking away the nuclear weapons of Iran? Right. I mean, this isn't a little thing. This could save millions of lives. So I think he has accomplished stuff. I do think he panicked a little bit with that. I did not like that speech he gave. Well, I don't want to be the Herbert Hoover and stuff. I mean, come on, we got a strong economy right now. It is on the verge of booming. And as you and I talked about on your show the other day, not only are we going to see lower oil prices, but my God, the productivity numbers in terms of what businesses are doing with the AI revolution is going to drive down costs And I think you said maybe we can get to zero inflation. Maybe. I mean, you might be right about that.
We're going to have negative, Prince. We're going to have negative.
I don't know if I'd go that far. But.
No, I'm telling you, the gasoline it's a big thing. And it's going to help Kevin Warsh's job enormously. But on the productivity point, let me talk about that. We talked about it a little bit with the stock market people. You got this article, Nick Timiraeus of the Wall Street Journal. Warsh's first...
So terrible article.
Exactly. That's right. So let me get this right, Liz. Technology advances are inflationary? Really? Over the last 2,000 or 3,000 years, has anybody looked at the facts, Liz Peek? I ask you.
Yeah, that just seems preposterous to me. I actually think that the whole reaction to Kevin Warsh and his press conference is people really not doing their homework. Number one, whoa, what a surprise. Kevin Warsh is a hawk. Well, yeah, that's what he's been his entire career. So right. But the point is, now we are at a point, as you guys are saying, where the AI revolution can mollify even a hawk because, indeed, it's going to bring prices down. That's what Kevin Warsh has been saying, if anyone's been listening to him, is the argument for rate hikes really isn't very solid because there are a lot of places where inflation is going to be reduced. And, of course, on headline because of oil prices coming down. So now we've gone from, oh, my gosh, he's a dove, he's a Trump puppet, to now he's a hawk, and rates are going to go up 3 times in the next year. Right. Gosh, I mean, does anyone actually read this guy and pay attention? There's no argument at all that rate hikes are going to go up. That's what futures are saying now. I think that's wrong.
By the way, if you just look at the facts, the productivity numbers, 4-quarter change, are growing at close to 3%. It's not a theory. Just look at the releases.
Reality
from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's happening. This article, I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Larry? Nick Timiraeus wrote that piece. You know who his best friend in the whole world is? Jerome Powell.
I was just going to say Jay Powell. You and I are, same.
That's very funny.
So You're right. He misses Jerome Powell already.
I know. He tried to martyr. He tried to martyr Jay Powell as much as he could. And Timiraeus personally, he's a nice kid. You know, he's a young guy.
Nice guy. Right.
He's a nice kid. But he just can't.
He doesn't
you're right.
Understand economics.
That's right. No, I agree. It's just unbelievable stuff. The actual numbers. Look, Liz. I know my biases, you know my biases, but the reality is I'm looking at the data. The data are saying, I have the sheets right in front of me, 2.9% last 4 quarters. Unit labor costs, which drive profits, 1.2 for heaven's sakes. That's not inflationary. 1.2. That's the whole cost structure of the economy. 1.2. Not the price structure, the cost structure. But it's very low. It hasn't been this low in a long time.
I agree. And I think that's one reason I mentioned on the show the other day, the fact that CEO confidence is going up.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of interesting in light of, the Iranian war and all the uncertainty about that. And also, I'd say uncertainty about tariffs because they haven't gone away. And I think it's kind of unclear what the next iteration looks like. But CEOs are optimistic because they have a brand new weapon in their arsenal of profit growth, and that's AI. There's just really no way of getting around that. It doesn't mean that you're laying off huge numbers of people. It's that your people are so much more productive.
That's right.
And yes, you probably don't have to increase your staff as much as you may have expected. But guess what? That's showing up in pretty good profit expectations across the board.
So Liz, you're like an old-fashioned throwback. So I like the CEO confidence. No. I have such a jaundiced view of CEOs. Like, I think they're all libs. Not all of them, but 80% of them are libs. And they belong to the business roundtable, and they have liberal lunches and liberal dinners. And I interviewed Trump in front of one of the biggest turnouts of the business round. But should I trust CEOs? I guess that's what I'm asking. It's just such a jaundiced view of them.
Well, I think that jaundiced view is fed by the fact that under the Biden administration, and also I'd argue the Obama administrations, you had to toe the political line.
Yeah.
And maybe many of them actually thought that was right. And by the way, if you talk to CEOs, they're kind of scared to death of their younger employees who are so woke, and they demand that management take a stand, and all that kind of came to a head with the George Floyd problem. But, you know, at the end of the day, they want to grow their businesses. They want to make more money. The reason that the tech guys all got behind Trump is not because, in my view, not because they were afraid of Trump. They knew he was going to be good for business. And, you know, guess what? They're all trying to manage in a highly regulatory environment. Even AI is regulated and will be in many ways.
Not much.
And they just not yet, but you know, it'll come somehow.
I had that guy. No, I was just going to say David Sachs is kind of the ringleader of the Silicon Valley crowd, and he's thrown in with Trump. I had him on the show. I guess it was last week. He was very, very good. I mean, he's a rare bird. He's like a free market libertarian, but I guess many of the Silicon Valley's people are libertarian.
I think so.
They don't. So, in a sense, they can live with Trump Trump's not going to crack down on AI. I don't see it.
No, Trump is pro-technology.
No, but his whole approach to low regulatory, low tax, pro-business, and, by the way, and defending our tech companies against European taxation and things like that. You know, Biden was very willing to walk into these sort of globalist tax agreements and structures, which are very bad for American companies, always, because Europeans are basically, it's like Willie Sutton. Where's the money? Let's go get it. The money's in the United States right now, and they know that.
And so's the technology companies. But
for sure.
Steve, were you saying something back there? I think we lost.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Gotcha.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that I think the culture of the CEOs has become pro-Trump. They realize he's pro-profits, pro-growth, pro-technology, although the kind of second-tier workers in Silicon Valley are all liberals.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I hope you're right. I mean, it's good. It's good. Liz, you mean restoring my confidence in CEOs. I'm thinking about it.
Larry, they have to sound the liberal line, because otherwise they'll get raked across the coals by the New York Times, by their young employees. They're very public people. But look at Jamie Dimon. I mean, he kind of walks a fine line, but the reality is he shows up at the Reagan
he did.
library.
Look at Larry Fink, for goodness sakes.
And I mean, even more so. Exactly.
All right. I'm going to read too many. I've been to too many. I used to go with Trump to the Business Roundtable in the first term.
That's right.
And that was hard. I got to tell you, it was. You know, there are a few hardcores. I mean, sure, the oil and gas people are hardcore. The old industry people tend to be very hardcore. But bankers, not financial people, not good. Techie people, not good. But maybe that's changing.
Yeah, but they like to make money.
Yeah, I guess even CEOs like to make money, don't they? All right, we're going to take a quick break. Liz, we should talk about this when we do your B of A thing on Monday. It's very funny. Anyway, Liz Peek's here at Fox News. Steve Moore's radio show coming up right after this show. Most of these same radio stations. I'm Kudlow. We'll be right back.
From Wall Street to the White House, this is the Larry Kudlow Show.
Vandals attacking the reflecting pool. What a big story that is. Socialism's coming to Washington, D.C., too. Their mayor. Mr. Trump's not going to like that. Vandals, writing 8647, that's slang for taking Trump out, on the grass near parts of the reflecting pool. Algae growth may have been coming from vandals because it just renovated the thing to the tune of almost $15 million. So we had peace and quiet in Washington, D.C., but now the left is taking over again, exercising whatever they're exercising. Liz Peek, how's this going to turn out? I don't see a bright future for it.
Well, I don't think it's going to turn out any better than the progressive left taking over Seattle or LA or New York City for that matter. These are not people who know how to manage. And this whole standing down on law enforcement, which is part of their platform, obviously in D.C. has been a disaster in the past. And frankly, I would think that the actual population of people actually live in D.C. must be thrilled to have had the National Guard on the scene, to have crime go down. But, nothing's forever. And if they keep voting in people who are going to work against all those ambitions, that's kind of where we are. I mean, same thing in New York. Trump
might take it over if he has to.
Yeah.
I mean,
send back the National Guard, right?
Yeah, he might have to. Steve Moore, related to this, we're under the theme of the left and their opposition to any voting election reform. Will the election in California ever be completed?
I think they're still counting, right?
They're still counting, Steve. We're coming to the end of June,
yeah.
All right?
Yeah, but they did announce that Ronald Reagan was elected in 1960.
I mean, really. Somebody said, Joe Concha said early in the show, something like, in India, they have elections, 650 million people vote in one day, okay? And California is still going. They won't have it by Labor Day.
So, look, it really, I think Liz put it very well that what we're seeing, unfortunately, in our great cities, and I love American cities. As you know, I'm from Chicago. I was there for the big rally on Wednesday in New York. Was it Wednesday or Thursday for the Knicks and so on? So, I love our cities. They're great, but they're being ruined. There's a sort of Zoranization of our big cities with now, as Liz said, Seattle, Chicago, New York, now Washington, D.C. And incidentally, I'm always against. I was against the president sending federal troops into various cities last year. I thought it was a mistake. But this is our federal city, Washington, D.C. So he has the authority to take charge there, given that this current mayor can't do it. And one other thing, I mean, this is such an amazing moment for the country, the 250, and I do think Trump has inserted himself a little too much into this, frankly. But it's so sad. I mean, we had a poll in our hotline, Larry. 1/3 of Democrats say they're not proud to be calling themselves American. Right. I mean, that's so sad.
It is sad. It's actually it's closer to 1/4, The patriotism issue and the July 4th flag waving issue, the Democrats are such losers. It should be so easy for a Democratic politics leader, to come out in favor of July 4th, the anniversary, 250. They don't give up any. They can still be lefties and still be patriots. I mean, isn't it a big political mistake?
But they've indoctrinated a great segment of the population to think that you have no opportunity. Right. And so because you have no opportunity and the deck is stacked against you, the deck is stacked against you because capitalism doesn't work and you have all these people getting rich in a zero-sum game. I mean, their whole platform, their whole message to young Americans in particular is you have no prospects here. Right. You have no future. So how can people be proud and patriotic? It's ignorance, really, Larry. It's compound. Is refusing to educate kids about the difference between capitalism and socialism, pointing out that socialism has failed all over the world, and it's not. We're not sitting here making this stuff up, as you pointed out before with productivity. These are facts. Yeah. Facts kind of tell a pretty good story about America, and a lot of young people just simply don't know the facts, and I blame their parents, I blame the educational system, and I really blame Democrats because they paint such a bleak story. And one of the upshots of that, by the way, is all these young people deciding not to have kids. What a horrible thing to do to young people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Steve, were you writing in the hotline, who is it, Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania, who's supposed to be a moderate, has come out against school choice?
Yeah.
Which is a very bad... Really,
and by the way, the state that leads the country in school choice, for 1 million kids have choice in Florida. It's been an amazing success. The test scores are rising there. Now the liberals are trying to put something on the ballot to take choice away from 1 million kids.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I don't.
Well, it's all about money. It's all about the teachers' unions, and Shapiro wants their backing if he runs for president or whatever. I mean, unfortunately, they have. If you could wave a magic wand and make America's future better, it would be somehow undermining in a profound way the teachers' unions.
They're horrible,
right? I don't know how to do it. And Scott Walker
the unions
tried.
Out of kids.
Yep. Yeah.
Pennsylvania's
really
a big
bad
state. I heard Fetterman. Mark Levin interviewed Fetterman. I think it was last weekend. Fetterman's pretty good, by the way. He's really the last good Democrat, isn't he?
Yes.
I mean, he really is an interesting character, and he just is unabashedly. He said, this is my view, and my party doesn't agree with me, and et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, you two are great. Steve Moore's show's coming up on most of these same stations right after this one. And Liz Peek, thank you ever so much. Folks, I'm Kudlow. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next weekend.